depression, redemption, action, and loss, Season 2 is packed with emotional roller coasters. Will Rudeus finally find happiness? Let's recap everything from Mushoku Tensei Season 2. The story continues with Silfi's fate during the teleportation incident. Thrown into the sky, she lands on a monster attacking Princess Ariel, saving her by chance. The trauma turns her green hair white. Taken in by Ariel, she becomes her bodyguard, adopting the male persona Fitz to avoid political issues. As Fitz, she learns silent casting and navigates Asura's court politics with unwavering loyalty, once even stopping an assassination attempt. Despite being offered freedom, she chooses to stay by Ariel's side as a trusted friend. This path eventually leads her to enroll at Renoa Magic University. The focus shifts to Rudeus. Deeply depressed after Eris left, Rudeus travels through snowy lands with other adventurers. Determined to find his missing mother, Zenith, he heads north. To fund his journey, he reluctantly joins a new party, Counter Arrow. Sarah immediately distrusts him. During a grizzly hunt, the party is surrounded. Though initially despondent and nearly giving up, seeing his comrades fight reignites his will. He casts a powerful spell, saving them and proving his great magical skill. Accepted by Counter Arrow, Rudeus burns a lock of Eris's hair, symbolizing his effort to move on. During a mission in the dangerous Gulgao ruins, Rudeus saves Sarah from a fall using his demon eye but accidentally gropes her, worsening their tense relationship. After defeating a snowdrake, their party clashes with another group, stepped leader led by the blunt Soldat. But the conflict is quickly resolved. Later, Rudeus discovers Mimir is dead, and Sarah is missing in the snow-covered Trier forest. Haunted by guilt, he ventures out alone, fights monsters, and rescues Sarah from a tree-like creature. They take shelter in a cave where Rudeus tends her wounds and reassures her, earning her sincere thanks. Back in town, his heroism gains gratitude, though he refuses any reward. Sarah later asks him out, but during their date, Rudeus's trauma-induced ED resurfaces. Misunderstanding him, Sarah leaves hurt. Drunk and devastated, Rudeus lashes out and beats up Soldat after being mocked by him. But despite this, Soldat still offers his support. Even a visit to a brothel fails to help, with courtesan Elise gently explaining that his wounds run deep, and healing takes time. Drunkenly insulting Sarah, unaware she's listening, Rudeus is slapped and left ashamed. Overwhelmed, he attempts suicide, but Soldat stops him and offers a new path, joining his party. Rudeus joins Soldat's stepped leader and travels to the Duchy of Neris, proving his worth by defeating a large dragon. Returning to town, he meets Elise, who reveals Zenith's location and her past search with Roxy, who has since joined Paul's party. Growing frustrated with Elise's seductive ways, Rudeus then receives an invitation to enroll at Renoa Magic Academy. Unsure, he seeks advice. The man god appears, urging him to attend Renoa, promising clues about the Fito teleportation, and even a chance to regain his manhood. Rudeus parts ways with Soldat and begins his journey to the academy with Elise, keeping his promise to Paul. Upon arrival, Rudeus easily defeats a silent student named Fitz in a duel to qualify. Unaware Fitz is his childhood friend Silfi in disguise. Rudeus enrolls at Renoa Magic University, and Elise enrolls with him as well. At the academy, he reunites with Zenoba, meets Beast Girls Linnea and Persena, and special students like Cliff Grimoire. Later, when falsely accused of stealing panties near the girls' dorm, Fitz takes the blame and defends Rudeus, earning his gratitude, though Rudeus remains unaware of Fitz's true identity. Next day, Rudeus tries teaching Zenoba magical sculpting, but she lacks talent. On Fitz's advice, they buy a hopeless dwarf slave girl named Juliette, who chooses life over death. She quickly masters silent casting under Zenoba's tutelage. Trouble arises when Rudeus discovers Linnea and Persena deliberately broke his treasured Roxy figurine after Zenoba lost it in a duel. Furious, he captures and interrogates them in his dorm, revealing his strange Roxy shrine and punishing them harshly with Fitz's help. The incident strengthens his bond with Fitz, but exposes Rudeus's flaws. Time passes, and Cliff starts developing feelings for Elise. He defends her against mockery and asks Rudeus for help. Although Elise initially rejects him because of her curse, the next day they surprisingly decide to give their relationship a chance. During the Beast Folk mating season, Persena and Linnea avoid suitors by declaring Rudeus their alpha, sparking a series of campus duels. Rudeus defeats every challenger until Demon King Badagati arrives. Using earth magic, Rudeus blows off Badagati's arm in one hit. Impressed, Badagati instantly heals and acknowledges Rudeus as the winner, forging an unexpected friendship. As winter comes, Cliff grows closer to Elise. Linnea and Persena follow Rudeus, and Badagati starts attending lectures. Amidst this chaos, Rudeus begins finding his place. Meanwhile, Fitz confides in Ariel and Luke that she hasn't told Rudeus she's really Silfi. Both are shocked. Rudeus struggles to link the teleportation disaster to summoning magic until Fitz suggests meeting a special student, Silent Seven Star. When he enters her lab, he panics at her white mask and faints. Waking on Fitz's lap, he learns that Silent Seven Star is Shizuka Nanahoshi, the girl he tried to save in his past life and who was with Orsted. Unlike him, she wasn't reincarnated, but teleported directly, hasn't aged, and lacks mana. She suspects her arrival caused the disaster and wants to return to Japan. Fitz, hearing this, attacks Nanahoshi in shock, but Rudeus calms her. Nanahoshi hopes her experiments will uncover the truth. Rudeus offers mana to help. As they leave, Fitz questions Rudeus's feelings toward Nanahoshi. He admits he finds her strange but trusts her, marking a new chapter. Weeks pass, and Fitz grows jealous of Rudeus's time with Nanahoshi, afraid of being replaced. Soldit's visit reminds Rudeus of his progress, but he soon notices Fitz's coldness. When he confronts her, she explains her duties to Ariel create distance and misunderstandings. Reassured yet conflicted, Rudeus starts realizing he's drawn to Fitz. The truth finally hits in the library when Fitz falls on him. His reaction reveals she's a girl. Shocked, he chooses patience, sensing she could be key to his healing. Ariel urges Silfi to reveal her true identity to Rudeus, but Silfi fears rejection. Ariel suggests recreating a childhood moment when Rudeus discovered Silfi was a girl. Silfi invites Rudeus on a quest to find a rare flower in the Forest of Hail, pretending it's for Ariel. Along the way, Silfi secretly summons rain. Rudeus nearly dispels the storm, but Silfi struggles to maintain it. They take refuge in a cave where Rudeus suggests undressing to keep warm. As he helps her, removing her glasses, he recognizes her. She is Silfi. Overwhelmed, Silfi admits, "It's me, Silfi." Rudeus confesses his feelings, which she returns. Though trauma causes Rudeus to falter, Silfi patiently reassures him. Later, Silfi tells Ariel and Luke about the issue. Luke gives her a rare aphrodisiac. That night, Silfi creates a romantic atmosphere. They take the elixir and finally share an intimate moment. The next morning, Rudeus panics, fearing Silfi might leave like Eris, but she returns after thanking Ariel and Luke. Relieved, Rudeus realizes he's healed. He thanks Ariel and announces his intention to marry Silfi. Ariel agrees to let Silfi accompany him. Now cured thanks to Silfi, a confident Rudeus searches for a home before proposing. He secretly finds a large mansion rumored to be cursed and teams up with Cliff and Zenoba to investigate. At night, they hear something. Cliff panics easily. Zenoba stays calm. With Rudeus' lead, they track the source. Zenoba disables it with brute strength and is fascinated by its craftsmanship. They eventually discover the curse is actually a rogue automaton. With the danger gone, Rudeus renovates the mansion and surprises Silfi, proposing by presenting it as their new home. She happily accepts. The next day, they host a wedding reception with their university friends. During the celebration, Elenalise breaks down, revealing she is Silfi's grandmother. This emotional moment leads to reconciliation, and Cliff vows to help her with her curse. Later, Ariel and Luke challenge Rudeus. He easily defeats Luke, earning Ariel's respect but also her warning to always protect Silfi. Rudeus receives a letter from his father, saying his younger sisters Norn and Aisha will live with him while Paul searches for their missing mother, Zenith. Paul arranges an escort but keeps its identity secret. Meanwhile, Nanahoshi's attempt to summon an object from her world using Rudeus's mana fails, causing her to break down and damage her lab. Rudeus comforts her and brings her home, determined to help. Together with Zenoba, they study a torn magic circle. Using Zenoba's insight, they layer simpler circles like a circuit board and successfully summon a plastic bottle, proving interworld summoning is possible. Grateful, Nanahoshi hosts a feast. Later, Rudeus and Silfi return home to find Norn and Aisha waiting, accompanied by Rujerd. After a little chat the next day, Rujerd departs, and Norn wants to leave with him. However, Rujerd tells her that she will be in good hands with Rudeus. Aisha quickly adapts, becoming a maid after passing the university entrance exam with ease, while Norn remains cold, struggling academically and asking to move into the dorms due to lingering resentment over past family conflicts. Rudeus reluctantly agrees on conditions to keep up her grades and visit home regularly. Tension rises as Aisha worries that Rudeus favors Norn because she is only his half-sister. Rudeus reassures her that this is not true. Norn moves to the academy where it feels cold between her and Rudeus. Later, a prank by Linnea and Persana involving a bag of underclassmen's underwear causes an awkward scene with Ariel and Luke, partly resolved by Silfi but witnessed by Norn, which worsens their fragile relationship. Despite Rudeus' efforts, Norn isolates herself, skipping classes and shutting herself in her dorm, prompting Rudeus, remembering his own neat past, to fear she's falling into despair. Determined to help gently, Rudeus, aided by Ariel's diversion and Linnea and Persana's assistance, sneaks into Norn's room. Norn feels pressure from everyone because of Rudeus. Sitting silently by her side, his quiet support breaks through her walls. Moved, Norn finally cries, hugs him, and calls him Oni-san for the first time, marking the start of their healing. She returns to classes, begins making friends, and gradually rebuilds her bond with Rudeus. A few days later, Rudeus and Norn start writing a book about Ruyur to improve the supered race's image, while Aisha thrives as the household maid. His friends continue their pursuits, Zanoba with doll making, Cliff crafting a magical item for Elena-Lise, and Nanahoshi advancing teleportation research. Silfi's pregnancy brings joy to Rudeus, but it's cut short when a letter from Geese reports that rescuing Zenith is proving nearly impossible and urgent help is needed. Torn between his family and his wife, Rudeus even receives a warning from the human god to stay home, a warning he doesn't trust. Yet he still hesitates until Norn, in desperation, tries to leave alone. Inspired, he decides to go. After telling Elena-Lise and informing Nanahoshi, who gives him a risky teleportation shortcut, he breaks the news to Silfi. Though worried, she supports him and leaves the house in Norn and Aisha's care. Before they leave, Cliff proposes to Elena-Lise. Using the teleportation circle, Rudeus and Elena-Lise begin their desert journey, facing challenges including Elena-Lise's ongoing curse, a succubus attack, and battles with giant scorpions and griffins. Eventually, they arrive and meet Geese at the Adventurers Guild. He leads them to Paul and Lilia, who have been based in the city while searching for Zenith. Paul, emotionally worn out, admits his failure and despair after 6 years of unsuccessful rescue attempts. The mood darkens further when Paul reveals that Roxy has been trapped in the labyrinth for a month, fighting for survival. This news devastates Rudeus. He shares a teleportation guidebook from Renoa, which gives the party a valuable edge. After a brief night of rest and family bonding, the team, Rudeus, Paul, and the others, enter the dungeon. Deep within the labyrinth, Roxy fights desperately for her life, exhausted and surrounded by relentless monsters. Just when it seems she'll fall, Rudeus bursts through a wall and freezes the enemies with a powerful ice spell. Their emotional reunion is brief but impactful. Roxy, stunned by how much Rudeus has grown, doesn't recognize him at first. But once she does, gratitude washes over her. Back in the city of Rapan, Roxy recovers while Rudeus hovers close. Clearly overjoyed she's alive. His constant attention flusters Roxy, revealing her growing feelings. Paul, noticing the tension, lightly jokes about polygamy, hinting at Roxy's affection for his son. The party descends deeper into the dungeon, reaching the 6th stratum, a brutal place guarded by a ferocious Hydra. Paul, upon seeing Zenith, is blinded by rage and charges at the Hydra. After their first failed attempt, the group is forced to retreat. Rudeus, skeptical about whether Zenith is still alive, voices his doubts, which angers Paul. Instead of retaliating, Rudeus responds with rare empathy, acknowledging his father's suffering and reminding him that they're in this together. After a strategic discussion, Paul, worn down by guilt and years of failure, apologizes to everyone. He especially apologizes to Rudeus, blaming himself for everything. This moment helps heal the long-standing rift between them. Afterward, they prepare for another attempt at the battle. The plan to defeat the Hydra is fast and brutal. Paul charges in, slashing at its heads while Rudeus seals the Hedy's place with fire magic. While Roxy heals, the Hydra retaliates with flames, but Rudeus shields the group with a water barrier. The battle turns into a fierce cycle: strike, burn, defend. Just as victory seems near, the Hydra makes a final move, lunging at Rudeus. Paul throws himself in the way, taking the fatal blow. Fueled by shock and rage, Rudeus, with help of Roxy, finishes the beast with a powerful fire spell. The Hydra dies, but the cost is devastating. Rudeus loses his arm. Paul dies proud in his final moments. The crystal surrounding Zenith breaks. She's alive but unresponsive. The battle is won, but the loss is overwhelming. Devastated and overwhelmed by guilt over Paul's death, Rudeus falls into deep depression, questioning the journey's purpose. Comforted by Roxy, they spend a vulnerable night together, leaving him emotionally conflicted and fearing he's betraying Silfi and repeating his father's mistakes. Zenith awakens but has lost her memory and ability to speak. Lilia vows to care for her. On the return trip, Elena-Lise explains that polygamy is accepted in many regions. giving Rudeus clarity. Realizing he loves both Silfi and Roxy, he decides to propose to Roxy as a second wife, but she insists he first seek Silfi's blessing. Heading home, Rudeus carries a mix of sorrow, love, and uncertainty, changed by his losses and the complex future ahead. Upon arrival, panic strikes Rudeus when the house appears empty, but relief follows as he reunites with a pregnant Silfi. Everyone returns to Rudeus's home, burdened by Paul's death and Zenith's unresponsive state. He delivers the tragic news to Aisha and Norn. While Aisha stays composed, Norn breaks down, devastated by the loss of their father. She nearly blames Rudeus, but seeing his missing hand tempers her anger. After everyone leaves, Rudeus confesses his feelings for Roxy and asks Silfi for permission to take her as a second wife. Norn lashes out, accusing him of betrayal and shaming Roxy. Just as Roxy prepares to leave in shame, Silfi surprises everyone. She calmly accepts Roxy, recognizing her love for Rudeus and trusting in their bond. The season ends with the birth of Rudeus and Silfi's daughter, Lucy. Rudeus visiting Paul's grave, grieving but grateful. Despite the losses and complications, a new chapter begins for the Greyrot family. If you want more recaps like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know what anime you want to see next.